You ever spend just hours, maybe days, trying to find that one specific quote buried in a huge pile of documents? Or maybe worse, you ask a chatbot for help and it gives you this beautifully written answer that is completely and totally wrong? Well, today we're going to talk about Google's answer to that exact problem, NotebookLM. Now, this isn't just another AI chatbot. It's designed from the ground up to be your personal research assistant, one that's built for accuracy and, to actually help you. Let's see how it works.
And that question really gets to the heart of the matter with so many of these AI tools, doesn't it? We've all run into this massive trust problem. I mean, if you're doing serious work, if you're a journalist, a lawyer, a researcher, a student, getting an answer that's confidently wrong isn't just a little annoying, it can be a total disaster. So that's the big hurdle, right? That's what a truly useful AI assistant has to overcome. Okay, and this slide just drives that point home. Look at this data. Seriously, look at it. On the left, you've got your general purpose AIs, your typical chatbots, and they can have a hallucination rate, a making stuff up rate of around 40% on some tasks. 40. Now, look at the bar on the right for NotebookLM. Just 13%. That is a massive, massive difference. So how in the world does it pull this off?
Well, the secret sauce, the big idea here, is a completely different approach called source grounding. And this isn't just some extra feature they tacked on. It is the entire foundation that the tool is built on. So let's actually break down what that means. And honestly, this analogy just nails it. A standard AI, like a ChatGPT, is kind of like a librarian who has read every single book in the world, but is relying purely on memory. Sure, they're incredibly knowledgeable, but they might get a detail wrong or mix up facts from two different books. NotebookLM, though, is like a super rigorous research assistant who has only read the specific stock of 5 or 10 books you put right on their desk. Their entire universe is just your documents. So here's the crucial part. Every single answer it gives you is generated exclusively from the documents you provide. That's it. It's not reaching out into its vast memory of the internet. It uses this really smart search to find the exact info you need inside your own files. And the best part? For every single claim it makes, it gives you a direct, clickable citation, a link that takes you right back to the source so you can check every single fact yourself. And look, for anyone working with sensitive or proprietary information, this is a total non-negotiable. And Google is super clear about this. The documents you upload are for your eyes only. They are not used to train their models. So your private research, your client notes, your secret first draft of a novel, it all stays yours, period. Okay, so we've established that NotebookLM is built on this foundation of trust. That's huge. But what can you actually do with it? Let's get into the features, because this is where it becomes a real game changer for getting things done. First up is just how flexible this thing is. And I mean seriously flexible. We're not just talking about text files here. You can throw almost anything at it. PDFs, Google Docs, links to websites, even the entire transcript from a YouTube video. It can also handle audio files and images, basically turning it into this all-in-one multimodal research hub. And the scale that it operates on is, well, it's just staggering. Because it's powered by Gemini 1.5 Pro, NotebookLM can handle up to 25 million words of context at once. Now, to put that in perspective for you, that's like uploading the entire Harry Potter series 50 times over and asking it to analyze all of it all at the same time. It's wild. But what happens when you need to go beyond the files you already have? That's where this deep research feature comes in, and it's pretty cool. Imagine you're writing a report on a new medical thing. You can ask NotebookLM to find the latest research papers on it, and it will actually go out, search the web for high-quality sources, and then deliver a fully cited summary right back into your notebook. It's basically like having a research intern who never sleeps. But NotebookLM is more than just a tool for finding stuff. It's also a really powerful learning partner. It's designed not just to help you find information, but to help you really understand and master it. So let's look at how it helps you actively engage with all your material. Okay, this is where it gets really exciting, especially for students or anyone who's just a lifelong learner. Imagine uploading all your class notes and having it automatically generate flashcards and quizzes so you can test yourself. Or, with a click, creating instant timelines and mind maps to see the bigger picture. It even has this learning guide feature that acts like a personal tutor, asking you these really tough questions to make sure you're thinking critically. And beyond just learning, it also helps you create stuff. It can take all that research and instantly repurpose it into different formats, a blog post, a detailed briefing document, you name it. It can even generate a full video slide deck, complete with narration. But one of its most popular features, it takes a completely different approach. Get this, it can turn your sources into a podcast, and people absolutely love this feature. Just like this review says, it genuinely feels like having a personalized podcast with two AI hosts having this natural, engaging conversation about all of the key ideas in your documents. It's a fantastic way to review your material while you're out for a walk or at the gym. So it all sounds pretty amazing, right? But is it too good to be true? Let's take a look at the fine print. Because, no tool is perfect. So we need to cover the limitations and, of course, what it's going to cost you. So NotebookLM has a few different tiers. The free version is actually surprisingly generous. You get most of the core features. But it does have daily limits on the really heavy-duty stuff, like generating those audio podcasts. The Pro tier, which comes with a Google One AI Premium subscription, bumps those limits up by about 5 times. And then there's an enterprise version for big teams that plugs right into Google Workspace. Now, this is really important to understand. You gotta know where NotebookLM shines and where it falls short. It is an absolute master at synthesizing and summarizing information that is explicitly written down in your documents. But, and this is a big but, if you're trying to solve, say, a complex chemistry equation or a theoretical math problem that requires deep deductive reasoning that goes beyond the text, you're probably gonna find it struggles. It's a summarizer, not a logician.
And, real-world users have pointed out a few other quirks. Sometimes its search system can get a little lost if you feed it a really long, poorly formatted document that doesn't have clear headings. And while there is a mobile app, some people find it can be a bit buggy, and it's definitely missing some of the key features you get on the full web version. Just something to keep in mind.
All right, finally, let's zoom out and look at where all of this is heading. Because Google's long-term vision for NotebookLM is incredibly ambitious. It's all part of this bigger strategy they're calling cognitive bridging. So the big idea here is to deeply connect NotebookLM with their main AI, Gemini. In this future vision, NotebookLM becomes like the hippocampus, your brain's long-term memory center. It's the stable, persistent, trusted library of everything you know is true. And then Gemini acts as the prefrontal cortex, the creative, problem-solving part of the brain that can tap into that perfect memory to reason, brainstorm, and create in ways it just couldn't before. So what does this all mean for the future of how we work and how we learn? Are we finally moving past this era of the all-knowing but sometimes wrong chatbot? Are we moving into a new age of specialized, trustworthy AI assistants that we can actually rely on? Well, only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. Tools like NotebookLM are fundamentally changing the game.